Take two. What's up? The first take was pretty blurry, so we are up at my mom and dad's, and we're going to do a little story time with Mike. He's got his arrowheads out here, and I'll let him kind of fill you in on when he started, how he started. The first one he found, actually he talked about that yesterday, but he's going to show you which one. And guys, to me, this is just amazing to have like actual pieces of history that someone has just found in the ground. It's just, it blows my mind. I don't know that I have the patience for it, but I'm glad that he does, because it's pretty freaking awesome. So without further ado, I give you Michael Lane.
Well, I got started with the collection that I have right now with Seth's mom, and we were going fishing and she almost stepped on it, and it's just this little one right here. I just saw it laying in the silt. I couldn't see the color or anything, but I saw it laying on the bottom of the creek and just the shape, and yelled, and she threw her fishing pole. She thought I was telling her there was a snake, and she ran the other way. So she didn't step on the arrowhead, so that's all I cared about. But that's the one that started it all, and it was so pretty, so well made. I just figured somebody around here had to be really into what they were doing. So that one started it, and I started asking around the farmers and things that lived in the area, and one of them, his name was Smitty, an old man that, oh, he was a character, but he lived right next to Seth's grandma, and he told me that there was arrowheads everywhere. And he said the ground was just littered with them, and he said him and his sister Blanche used to throw them in the woods. They'd find them in the fields and just throw them in the woods.
Are you kidding? I didn't know that.
No. So I asked him if I could hunt. He said yeah, and one day he yelled at me and said, "You need to come over here in this field." I was hunting over by Butters and Emily's, and when I walked over there, I found this one, which it's almost perfect.
That's thick
shape, thick, and this would have been a knife, where this would have probably been attached to a shaft and actually been an arrow head. But I found that one.
That's crazy that it would be that big.
Yeah, and weight on an arrow makes all the difference. So they would tip them the way they wanted them to be tipped, according to the shaft that they had to put an arrowhead on. And
they had to be continuously precise with weight. And if you know anything about the arrows now, like if you change the weight, it's going to change the way that arrow flies. So any small difference is gonna make a difference.
And I hunted that field continuously for 15 years, and pretty much most of these have come out of that field. That one was right next door to Butters and Emily's. Just found it laying out in the field, and the snow was on the ground in all but a few little spots where the sun would hit. And I walked out one day and found this one sitting up on a pedestal of dirt.
Are you kidding?
No, it had just been sitting there waiting on somebody to come and get it. And when I picked it up, the shape was still laying there in the dirt. And this one is really, really soft. I don't think somebody used it as an arrowhead. I think it was because of the coloring through it, the brown through the gray. It's chert, it's real soft. I think somebody used it as like a necklace or an ornament, something to go around their neck. And this one here was real interesting too.
Like these big ones, the bigger ones. You think those are still arrowheads?
Yeah, you get into this size, something like this. Most likely it's a knife or a scraper. Like that was probably a knife. The tip of it's broke off.
Scraper, you're talking about for scraping hides. And
right, where this would have been a scraper. Somebody puts it in their hand, and right there's the edge that they would use to work the. So that's a scraper. I've got several others too, but this one was really interesting too. I don't know if the camera will show it, but right here there's a line right here. I've glued it back together. But
oh, I see it there.
There's the crack. You can see it. I found this piece 3 years.
Are you kidding me?
Before I found this piece. No. And I used to just throw all my broken pieces into a box, and every once in a while I would go back to the box and sort through the pieces to look to see if I'd found any pieces that fit together.
I didn't even know that.
And that's what that was. I mean, that piece was broke off.
How in the world?
But it was 3 years later before I found it. They were broken, and then a plow probably drug them way far
Were they in
apart.
the same? It was the same field.
Yeah, right next to your grandma's. And we haven't found anything in that field for the last couple of years because they've gone to no-till.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's all this is. I mean, it's not a major collection, anything like that. It's just stuff that I found around here. When my grandpa died, I got this piece here, this piece here, this piece here. My dad gave me this piece. This is a scraper, but it would have been hafted. In other words, it was on a stick or a handle, a bone handle. And I think some of these pieces are ones that I have either picked up in strange places, but all of these are different. They're from different places. I didn't find them in the fields around here. Came from someplace else. And there's a couple in my collection that are like this. They've got a little tail,
in the bottom,
like feet. They're called bifurcates. They're two little bottoms. And I've got another one that I actually found in a field that I hunted. That's from Smitty's field. Now, these are not old. A friend of mine, his name was Earl. He had a friend in North Carolina, a Cherokee village in North Carolina, that told him, bring him a piece of flint and he'll make some arrowheads for him. When Earl died, he gave me all of his collection here. So, and they were glued to something else. So I just took them off, cleaned them, and set them in a case. And this is my Earl case.
That is actually, Earl is, it'd be Bailey, my daughter, it'd be her granddad. So her mom's dad passed away a few years ago. But, pretty awesome. Anyway, Michael, we'll let you get back to work.
Alright.
I appreciate it.
Hopefully it'll all be done by the time Christmas gets here.
Yeah, you guys take a little look. We'll be back on Christmas Day for certain. See how it goes. Okay, I'll be back. Alright guys, real quick here. First let me explain to you what just happened. I went to my aunt's and I left my battery, charger, and battery at her house. So I'm actually using my old camera that has horrible scratches on it. So if I look bad or if the picture's bad, please excuse me. But since I didn't have my camera last night, I didn't even think about this one until this morning. We didn't end up recording anything last night. This video is going to be... This video might be remotely boring, or you guys might find it very interesting. I don't know. But I probably would have already cut some of Mike's stuff in and out. Hopefully that wasn't too choppy. But now I wanted to give you what I told you I was going to do was give you a little bit of facts on Louis Wetzel. Louis Wetzel was well known and a controversial frontiersman who lived in the Ohio country in the years of American Revolution and early nation. Wetzel is believed to have been born in 1763. His family moved to the Ohio River Valley in 1770s. Looks like they moved back and forth around the Panhandle of West Virginia. At least one member of his family was killed by Native Americans. Wetzel and his brother were captured. I told you guys about that. Were captured at one point, and he actually did get shot in the chest. I think it grazed him more than a penetrating wound. It is not known how many Native Americans he actually killed over his years or over his lifespan, but his reputation as an Indian fighter spread widely through the region. Having mastered the technique of reloading a single-shot flint rifle on a dead run, what I told you guys about, he was feared as a man whose weapon never seemed to be empty. Some of his Native American opponents came to call him Deathwind. Sounds kind of freaky. There is a story where, and I think it's on West Virginia or right on the skirts of West Virginia. There was a place where he got stuck. He couldn't cross the river. The river was up, and he got stuck. And he actually chiseled his name and I believe the year into a stone. And there's actually another stone that he did that. And we've been there before. Me and my brother, my dad, and we're gonna go back. And we're going to do it on the vlog, so that's going to be cool. Anyway, he was a warrior. We are warriors. We're the Wetzels, we're warriors. So that's that. One more thing. I was taking a dump earlier, and I think I never really thought about it till today, but it's kind of awesome. We are a community. Like, we are an army. We are family, and it's cool. I saw some people talking back and forth, you know, how they knew each other, maybe from previous or knew from another page that they watch or other vloggers that they watch, and it's cool that they're talking back and forth. And I was like sitting there thinking, like, my channel is hosting a platform for them to be able to talk to each other as well, and I'm a part of that as well. And everybody else is a part of that as well, and it's just cool. It's just cool. I'm just really stoked about what we got going on here. So that's it. I'm done, and I'll have my other camera here shortly. So sorry if I'm a little fuzzy in this region. Okay, I gotta go be a dad for a little bit. So I will see you guys next time.